So you're smashing the track to pieces and you're losing all the transients. How do you get it dynamic, loud, but still keep those transients? So when you're mastering, you're wanting to push into limiters, you're wanting to push into compressors to get it sounding together, glued, smashed together, and that's kind of the mindset that you've got, and you think that that's what you should be doing. But the problem is with that is that you lose all the transients and all the all the sharpness of the front of the track, so you don't get this nice punchy dynamic sound. And also keep the loudness. So the way that I get around that is, and it's a mindset thing of how you work with compressors when you're a mastering engineer compared to when you're recording or mixing. And it is, you're only using compressors for the sound of the compressor. You're not using it for compression. When you're mixing, you might really crush a sound in a compressor in the same way as when you're doing a vocal, you might want to compress it up to sort of, get more richness out of the sound. But really with mastering, all you're doing with all the different types of compressors is just using the flavor and the tone of that compressor. If you are moving the needles, then you're doing too much. So what you want to do because of that, because you're just going through the unit, make sure that you've got your attacks really slow, because then what that does, it lets the sound feed through, and then you can grab it with a little bit of release. So then the more release you have, the more flavor it gives to the sound, but you don't want to have the release obviously too long, otherwise it doesn't release it fast enough and the next hit comes along. So it's about measuring that, but usually a lot of the time, so you let the transients come through the compressor, and then you just kind of have more sound of that compressor with the release times. The only thing you're using when it comes to compression, you may want to glue the track a little bit more, but then again, make sure you keep the attacks open, because otherwise you're just going to grab too much of the front end and you're going to lose all that snappy bite. So that's my top tip for having massive transients and also keeping it nice, dynamic and loud.